What is bright, yellow, shiny, and screams wealthy? Civilizations have coveted it for millennia, even ours today. It's been used for crowns, coins, architecture, and trophies since ages forgotten, and today it remains one of the most precious commodities known to man. Gold. The word alone carries weight, an elemental epitome of wealth, power, and luxury. The lustrous metal has been heavily relied upon as a form of premium currency since 4000 BC, and its value hasn't changed much over 6,000 years later. We know that because of the relative buying power of gold, of which it's been said that an ounce of gold bought a fine man's suit in the time of Shakespeare. It did 100 years ago, and today it still does. Even more, since gold keeps up well with the rising inflation, it might even buy you 3 high-quality suits plus shoes to pair with. But what makes this precious metal so valuable? It's just a shiny piece of rock if you look at it that way, yet a nugget only smaller than your hand is worth as much as a new car. Welcome to Luxo-Life, your partner toward personal growth and success. Today, we're going to appraise the factors that make gold one of the most valuable precious metals to us humans. Is it just because of its scarcity, malleability, and physical attributes that allowed gold to preserve its high value for years and years? Or is there another quality to this rare earth metal that makes it so attractive to us humans? Let's find out. First, we must look at the history of gold. Gold has been able to preserve its high value for centuries on end. There have been pieces of evidence of kings writing statements that gold has been used way back in 4000 BC, and it was as common to them as sand. Going a little closer from 5,000 years ago was the first record of gold being used in jewelry in Mesopotamia. In ancient China, one of the earliest gold coins was called the Asian Ying Yuan, and they were used as currency in 1091 BC. That was shortly followed by the ancient Persians and Greeks that used gold coins way before the introduction of paper money. During the early stages of gold being used as a means of trade, philosophers believed that it was made by combining just 2 things, water and sunlight. This was based on their observation of gold appearing in running water. But of course, the early sciences of that time were a little flawed. Most scientists today concur that all the gold on Earth was created as a result of a supernova a few billion years ago. An explosion of a collapsing star. It's quite amusing to believe that the gold filling in your uncle's tooth is billions of years old and came from gold particles mixing into cosmic matter that formed the Earth itself. But in connection to the running water theory of the early philosophers, gold is deposited in cracks within the Earth's surface, and when the fault lines shift just enough for them to be revealed by erosion, the water carries the gold particles out of the cracks into the streams, which gives a clear explanation as to why people were able to find and sift gold from running rivers. In 1848, John Stutter found gold flakes in the rivers of the wild American West in Eureka, California. That discovery became the precursor to the famous gold rush, where about 300,000 people came to the Golden State and collected their shares of gold. All the gold harvested during those 10 years was estimated to cost up to $81 million. And back then, that much money meant a lot more than it does today. However, in the opening of the year 1900, the Gold Standard Act was signed by President William McKinley, which defined or established the accepted value of gold at $20.67 per troy ounce. During this time, American gold coins were an alloy of 90% gold with 10% copper added for durability. Another sidetrack for dollar history is that $1 in 1900 is approximately equal to $35.62 today. So by doing the math, $20.67 worth of a troy ounce of gold should cost around $736.27 today. However, during the 1930s Great Depression, President Franklin D. Roosevelt came up with some controversial Supreme Court rulings which limited the amount of gold a person or business could hold. These were known as the Gold Clause cases. The goal was to nationalize monetary gold and preserve the country's gold reserves by banning international gold trade, demanding gold owners surrender their monetary gold to the U.S. Treasury in exchange for paper currency, and suspending all gold clause contracts existing within the country. Gold clauses were contracts that allowed creditors to receive payments in gold. So, the infamous Great Depression of America struck gold pretty hard and caused the National Treasury to hoard all the gold in the country to preserve the country's precious metals. After all, gold is worth a whole lot more than paper currency, and as we've explained, a troy ounce of gold may have been worth $20.67 back then. But today, that same ounce costs $1,690.31, more than twice our previous estimates. This means that gold can outpace inflation more than twice its rate, especially now that our highly digital world has found more uses for gold than it ever did before. Gold is in your computer, it's in your food, and it's even in your body. Gold conductors, gold sheets, and gold teeth. Gold, despite its leveled scarcity, has far more uses now than the previous world could have ever imagined, which only makes it more expensive as demands continue to rise. In just 7,000 years, gold sure has been through quite a lot, but one thing that never changes is gold has always been valued by humans. But there are other precious metals out there in the world for us to see. So many more elements and shinier rocks with more impressive characteristics. So why gold? Of course, there are 118 elements in the periodic table known to man, but not all of them, even most of them, can be conveniently converted into valuable commodities. Gases obviously cannot be made into money, neither can radioactive ones like uranium and plutonium. Just imagine how much more interesting the human race would be if we did do that. We also have other more feasible metals like silver, copper, iron, and aluminum. But aluminum is best used for wrapping leftovers from that party and can't be turned into coins or other precious items. People back in ancient civilizations didn't have the technology that we have to turn harder metals into coins. And while iron and lead were running at a good supply and are easier to handle, they rust easily, which couldn't make them as effective as a currency as gold. Some metals are also too abundant to be considered valuable, and value is gold's biggest asset. Just imagine if gold grew on trees and were as common as any other plant, it wouldn't grow into such a valuable commodity that we have today. As for metals on the other end of that spectrum, such as platinum, there's just isn't much of it to go around. That is why we have rounded it down to silver and gold. One thing scientists found interesting was that humans are attracted to things that sparkle. We like all things attractive to our eyes, from glitter, bedazzled cell phone cases, to that chandelier hanging from the hotel lobby. And scientists theorize that this is because shiny things remind us of the reflective surface of the water. It is biologically imprinted to us to like shiny things because of water. If we take all the supply of gold in the world today and melted it to form a giant cube, the cube would measure about almost 70 feet on all sides, which is small enough to fit in a baseball infield. That's not a lot. Accounting for 47% of the world's gold right now is made into jewelry, 39% makes up coins and bars, and the rest goes to other things like technology or dental artistry. All these history lessons and chemistry lessons are for the sake of telling you that gold is simply one, if not the most usable and valuable metal on Earth. Iron is the most useful metal on Earth. It is used to create various alloys like steel and stainless steel, which are much needed for building structures, kitchenware, and technologies. Rhodium is by far the most expensive metal on Earth, costing $15,250 per troy ounce, but it's not as usable as gold. Rhodium is so rare that it's only used to plate other metals and as a catalyst for making nitric acid, acetic acid, and hydrogenation reactions. However, rhodium isn't as pretty and solid as gold, which is used for crafting jewelry. Gold's properties are rare as well. Not many metals can top gold's conductivity, making it irreplicable in important electronics. It does not degrade, corrode, or rust, and can perform flawlessly in the rigors of space as well. So in the end, gold remains popular and invaluable to most of us because of its looks, uses, and innate value. We just love things that shine. So would you like to own a piece of gold yourself, or do you already have some bits of that precious metal hanging around your neck, wrist, or fingers? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to leave us a thumbs up if you liked this video. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on any of our awesome and highly educational videos.